Hey guys, so my alarm went 1 o'clock like just now, and then I discovered somehow I'm not connecting, and I'm screaming like a fishwife, like a little banshee, because Steve's out in the garden. I can't hear properly. To find out what's going on with our Wi-Fi, and it's, I think, Vumatel working in the area, so I'm literally on data here because I said I'm going to go live at 1 o'clock. So here we are, and the next part of the journey. I'm trying to remember where I left off. But kind of where we left off was we are trusting God that we are going, and you can go watch the other video. But in a nutshell, what's happened is we went through this incredible woman I met on a post in I Love Northcliffe, just asking, like, is me getting a visa even humanly possible? What do I need? What? Cut a long story short, we were there on Thursday with all our documentation, and when we shared the dates with the little girl, well, the young lady that was helping us, her eyes went like saucers, and she said, "Hold on a minute," and she got up and she went to speak to her manager. She came back and she started proceeding with everything. I said, "Well, is it, do you think we'll get our visa? Don't you? What do you think?" She says, "Well, I kind of left you alone to pray." And the crazy thing is, when she left us alone, I said to Steve, "Come, yeah, let's just pray." And we literally did hold hands and pray right there. So I said, "Well, we did pray." So I said, "Do you think we're going to get it?" And she smiled, and she just smiled. And then we asked the other people where you got to, it's crazy, it's like sci-fi, where you got to stand and look in the camera and say your name and where you were born and whatever. And she said, well, she thinks it could happen. So visa-wise and everything, we're good to go. But I had asked God and actually prayed with my pastor and his wife, this is all covered in prayer. I had, on the day that we were going to the visa, asked God to provide. And what happened on that day is somebody actually ended up putting 1,000 rand in towards the trip. And that was very much a confirmation for me to keep stepping forward. So visa-wise, everything is good to go. Accommodation-wise, we are booked. Flights-wise, we are booked. We leave on Thursday afternoon at 2:30. We leave Johannesburg. The flight's just over 7 hours, and then we stop in Ethiopia, and then fly, I'm not sure the times, but from Ethiopia we then get to Milan in the early hours of the Friday morning. We'll spend the Friday, Saturday, Sunday there, and then fly out in the evening, Monday evening. So these are little things that have been happening along the way that have just been nudging me. What does it feel like when you walk like this, like pretty much crazy faith? I was saying yesterday, so I went to my prayer group, which is a very powerful group of ladies on a Friday, and I went there and I said, it's the craziest feeling walking like this, because when do you start 100% knowing? And I said, but the craziest thing is I feel already like I can see myself there, and I can see myself going up to get that award, and it's just crazy. Anyway, this is what happened. So my friend Jilly asked me how my back's doing. I said, well, truthfully, not great. And she asked me about my back brace, and I said to her, well, my back brace doesn't really function because I've lost like 20 kilograms since my back surgery. She says to me, well, Sister Carter. Now, Sister Carter is Erica Carter. Her and her husband actually started our church in Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, back in the day. And apparently her corset is still at the church. She said, well, let's have a look and see if it fits. So I get to prayer group yesterday, and just look at this, okay? So as she takes out the corset, which just happens to fit like a glove, and it's like, it's a solid corset. It's even been sewn with a little handkerchief to flap over so that it doesn't scratch on the skin. Okay, so she shows me that, and then there's two other little packets in the bag. Wait, let me show you. And I look at the little packet and I say, oh, I think it might be Brookies. And I give it to Jill. She says, well, let's have a look. And you're not going to believe this, guys. You're not going to believe this. Out of the packet, this is what looked like the Brookie. Out of the packet are surgical traveling socks. Not one pair, but two. So, anyway, me being me, oh my gosh, that's just very clear. Tanya, keep it short. So, everyone said to me, put my bank details on Facebook. And I was like, what do I do? I'm not sure about that. I went and looked at Fund BackaBuddy. And the thing with BackaBuddy is they only pay out after a month. And that's not going to help because we leave on Thursday. All right? So the funds need to come in. Well, preferably today would be great. So I could just be, Anyway, so I looked at the BackaBuddy. That's really, the normal old spontaneous roller coaster nuts. Tanya would go, I will take a loan, I will do whatever, and then trust that BackaBuddy will somehow come in and whatever. But I don't have peace. Okay, so I think, that's not an option. What I do. Then I phone around and I ask a couple of people that have put their bank details on Facebook and what the risks are. And, well, at the end of the day, the only thing anyone can do is put money in that account because I have to approve everything else. So this morning I woke up and I was like, well, how am I going to do this? And then I'm like, well, design a flyer. So I go on to Canva and I'm very challenged. And then I remember my ungelapte daughter, Sherry Ann, rocks this kind of thing. So I message her and ask her, could you perhaps? And she says, yeah, sure, send me some stuff. And I sent it to her and she designs this beautiful little flyer. I contact my pastor and his wife, just to confirm, do I go ahead? What do I do? And it's all good to go. So that's where things are at. I will be posting just now my bank details and flight details and all details, and how it's going to work, because there is, at this stage, the only thing that could stand in the way outside of finances would be health. I did start going to Google, flying with blocked arteries, and I just decided that's not a good idea because it's just not, because all things are possible with God. And should anything go wrong, at least I'm on my way doing something I love. So what's going to happen is anyone that contributes, I've made the reference Philippians 4 verse 13. Literally, you're going to put reference Phil 4:13, and that means I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, by the way. That's what the scripture is. So that'll be the reference. Or you can use your name. Now, in the event that something should go pear-shaped and we don't go, what will happen is you can decide whether you want to be refunded, which it will be refunded, or if you want to leave it in B2B outreach. B2B outreach is like a ministry outreach that I started where in the past I've helped addicts get off the street and into rehabs. It's really just sharing Jesus in any which way I feel led to. So you can decide if you would like to leave the money as part of B2B outreach, which will only be used for outreach, whether it be a book event or book launch or going to share testimony to cover expenses in that, or ministry related, or you can get a refund. And that's how that's going to work. And then, in closing, no amount is too small. Whether it be 100 Rand could be towards a meal, or whatever. At the end of the day, any amount will be truly, truly appreciated. So the faith journey continues. Am I out of my comfort zone? Absolutely out of my comfort zone. Am I enjoying every minute of it? Most of it. Where are things currently at with my health? Eyesight, not too pretty at the moment. 15%, 30%. Yeah. And hearing wise at the moment, also really not pretty. But oh, quickly in closing. So before we went away, the dog ate my husband's my husband's 1 hearing aid. Okay, so insurance had paid out, and fortunately, my husband has a relationship with the audiologist, and I went to my husband's audiology appointment on Wednesday. And my husband, Steve, said to him, "What are we going to do about my wife's hearing?" And what he's actually going to do is reprogram the other hearing aid of Steve's, the right ear, because my left ear is just a no-go. It's damaged completely from my car accident in 1997. But what's going to happen is on Monday, I will have a hearing aid and at least be able to hear. And so you just look at every little detail, and it's just amazing. Is health a challenge? Currently it is. Am I still trusting? Every step of the way. Guys, thank you for your continued love and support, and may God bless you, truly, truly bless you in whatever it is you do today and moving forward. That's it for now. Take care. Cheers.